Welcome to the Deep Dive Protocol. I'm your host, Poet Woods. Now, you may have seen my strategies featured on NBC, CBS, and Fox News. But today, we're going deeper than sound bites. As a certified knowledge broker and transformational strategist, I know that success is 80% psychology. But as a Google certified AI performance specialist and an AI generalist, I also know that without the right systems, mindset is just a dream. My mission is to fuse these two worlds. In this episode, I've commissioned my AI intelligence team to deconstruct the code of the top 1%. We're stripping away the noise to reveal the real architecture of success. This isn't just a podcast. It's a reprogramming session. Get ready, because now it's time to think with an entrepreneur's mind. The protocol begins now.
Welcome back. This week, we are looking at a really dense report on the ETEC methodology. It's got over 180 citations and claims to be a tool for subconscious entrepreneurial reprogramming.
And we're not just here to read the summary. Our job today is a full red team stress test. We're actively looking for the weak links.
The breaking points.
Exactly. The assumptions, the places where the science might be getting a little bit overstretched. Basically, where a skeptical reader is going to stop and say, hold on a minute.
Okay, so let's start with what feels like the biggest, most ambitious claim. The part that bridges neurobiology with, well, theoretical physics.
This is definitely the biggest swing. The linkage between quantum coherence and musical resonance requires greater scientific demarcation.
I think that's putting it mildly.
Right. This section 4, I believe, this is where the whole argument is at its most vulnerable.
So let's break that down. The report brings in the Orchestrated Objective Reduction Theory, Orch OR, from Penrose and Hameroff.
And to be clear, these are brilliant minds. We're not debating that. The report lays that foundation very carefully.
But then comes the jump.
And that's the weakness. It leaps, and I mean leaps, from this highly speculative quantum theory of consciousness straight to the assertion that ETEC music provides a, and I'm quoting, coherent external vibration.
A vibration that's supposed to tune the quantum processes inside your neurons.
To sustain a flow state. It's a fascinating idea, I'll give it that, but it's a theoretical jump that is completely unsupported by the evidence within the report itself.
It feels like a bridge built halfway across a canyon.
A bridge too far. And the real danger here is that if a scientifically minded reader can't make that jump with you, if they can't swallow the idea of tuning microtubules with a baseline,
they'll just dismiss everything else.
Exactly. They might throw out all the perfectly good, established neurobiology that the rest of the report is built on. It contaminates the whole thing.
So the suggestion here isn't to just throw out the quantum angle entirely.
No, I don't think so. You have to acknowledge that the implications are, well, massive, if any of this holds true, but you have to structure it differently. You need to segment the highly speculative from the established.
Build a firewall.
Yes, exactly. You give the reader permission to say, okay, this quantum part is interesting but unproven, but I'm still on board with the rest of it.
So a concrete example would be to maybe recategorize that whole section.
You know, a hypothetical frontier. Here's where this could go. Keep it separate from the solid, empirically grounded stuff.
The stuff on dopamine pathways, the frequency following response.
All that material. The citations from Huberman, Zatori, Jarvis, that's robust science. It can and should stand on its own. You let the reader engage with the proven mechanism without forcing them to accept the what-if chapter first.
You preserve the integrity of the other 180 citations that way. It keeps the whole report from collapsing under the weight of its most ambitious claim.
Okay. That makes a lot of sense. Let's move on to credibility then. How the author actually establishes their authority to make these claims in the first place. Right, and this is another area where a stress test reveals a potential weakness. The professional authority section risks being overshadowed by commonplace knowledge broker marketing.
I saw that. The report leans pretty heavily on formal certifications to establish Poet Wood's expertise.
It lists the Certified Transformational Coach from Christopher Howard Training,
And the Certified Knowledge Broker from the Tony Robbins and Dean Graziosi program.
And for a discerning auditor, that's a red flag. That's the weakness. It doesn't matter how valuable those courses are. In this context, they can look like the standard internet guru funnel.
So the reader's mindset immediately shifts.
It shifts from auditing the science to auditing the marketing funnel, and that's a battle you've already lost. The very credentials meant to build trust could actually undermine the unique science you're presenting.
The business grounding accidentally sinks the scientific credibility.
You've got it. So the suggestion has to be a complete reweighting of that material. You have to emphasize the thing that is unique.
The artistic and production pedigree.
Exactly. Establish that credibility completely separately from the generic coaching world. Focus on the engineering authority.
Which is where that hybrid MC distinction comes in.
I thought that was fascinating.
It is. You have a recorded testimonial from Wade Martin, a guy who sold over 100 million records, verifying this unique dual ability.
The ability to sing melodically, to engage the right brain hemisphere.
And then rap with a rhythmic precision, engaging the left. That's not a course you can buy. That's an auditable, unique skill. It's proof of engineering.
And it directly supports the whole brain bypass mechanism that's detailed later in the report.
It's the perfect foundation for claiming you can create high-fidelity auditory entrainment. So, for a concrete example, you need to completely reorder that section.
Lead with the hybrid MC distinction.
Absolutely. Put that front and center. Present the production pedigree, the lineage with Wade Martin, Billy Hayes, Sonny Robertson, as the primary structural authority.
And the business certifications.
They become supplementary, a footnote almost. Oh, and by the way, he also has the business grounding.
It shifts the author's persona from guru to specialized expert.
And it forces me, the auditor, to engage with the sound engineering claims, which is the core strength of the entire ETEC methodology, instead of getting distracted by the sales process.
It proves the content is expertly engineered, not just cleverly packaged. A crucial distinction.
It's everything.
Okay, so that leads us to the final and maybe most critical point. The core promise of ETEC is that it's a precision-engineered tool.
And if you're going to use the word precision, you better be ready to show your work. This is the ultimate show-me-the-receipts moment for an auditor.
And this is where I felt there was a real auditable gap.
A huge one. The empirical case studies lack the specific acoustic data needed for external replication and verification.
To be fair, the report does an excellent job explaining the why, the neurobiology behind tempo-specific programming.
Oh, definitely. It lays out how auditory driving works, why you'd use 140 to 150 BPM for an execution task, or 60 to 80 BPM to get into an alpha brainwave state for learning. The theory is all there.
But the weakness is, when you get to the actual case studies, the tracks like System Overload or I'm a G, the actual auditable metrics are missing.
The specifications aren't there.
Exactly. You can't claim you've built a precision-engineered tool and then not provide the specs. It's like describing how Ferrari engine works in theory, but refusing to tell me the horsepower.
If the entrainment depends on an exact tempo, we need to see that exact tempo listed.
It's the only way. So the suggestion is really quite simple. To meet that standard of a precision-engineered tool, you have to include the specific metrics that validate the auditory driving mechanism for every single case study.
You're giving the auditor the data they need to cross-reference the claim with the input.
It's about replication. It's about rigor. So let's give some concrete examples of that. For each track in Section 5, you just append the data?
Directly to the analysis. Take I'm a G. The stated objective is self-efficacy, and it claims to trigger a physiological power pose response.
Okay.
Well, then you need to specify the BPM. Is it 142 BPM? 145? And what about the frequency modulation? The report cites research on sub-bass frequencies affecting physiology. So does the track use the sub-bass at 60 Hertz? Show me the receipts.
Prove that the track actually contains the ingredients you claim are having the effect.
Yes. And do the same for a track like the tuition reframe. If it's for super learning, you have to explicitly state the BPM is, say, 75 to confirm it aligns with the alpha wave range you claim in your own data table.
Without those numbers, the claims just feel anecdotal.
They're not replicable science, that's for sure. But when you add that data, it changes everything.
It transforms the document from a theoretical essay into a proper technical report on sonic engineering.
And it shows absolute confidence in your work. It's inviting the audit, which is exactly what a rigorous methodology should do.
All right, that brings us to the end of our Red Team audit. We've really hit on 3 core areas to strengthen this report.
Yeah, 3 big ones. First, on structure and flow,
The big takeaway is to firewall that Orch OR quantum claim.
Separate the hypothetical from the empirically proven neurobiology.
Exactly. Second, for audience alignment, it's about reweighting credibility.
Prioritize the unique hybrid MC artistic pedigree over the more generic business certifications to get out of that guru trap.
And finally, for completeness, it's about the data.
Add the specific BPM and frequency metrics to the case studies so the claim of precision engineering can actually be verified.
Right. So, after putting this thing through the ringer, after stress testing its weakest points, what's your final assessment?
Look, I came into this demanding receipts, and the author delivered a stack of 180 of them. The claims are incredibly bold, and yes, in some places they definitely overstep the current empirical science.
Especially the quantum part.
But the thoroughness of the architecture, the detailed grounding in established neurobiology, the dopamine circuitry, the alpha wave entrainment, it makes the whole thing impossible to just dismiss.
So, it's not just marketing fluff. No, the rigor demonstrated in 90% of this document, despite the gaps we found, it warrants a genuine, grudging respect. It's a formidable piece of work. It deserves these adjustments to really lock it down and fulfill its own promise.
That's high praise coming from this audit. So we invite the listener to implement these suggestions and send the revised report back our way for a subsequent critique. Until next time, keep challenging the work.
The transmission ends here, but the construction project is just beginning. Now, I've told you to go get the blueprint, but you need to understand, I'm not just sending you there to download a PDF. I'm sending you to the armory. The blueprint is the central command station for an entrepreneur's mind. When you step inside, you aren't just getting scripts. You're getting access to the full scope of my agency's heavy artillery. The AI appointment bots to clone your sales team and book calls while you sleep. The interactive video engines that turn passive viewers into active buyers. The Dirty Dollars OS to automate your access acquisition. And even the legal architectures and biohacking fuel you need to protect and power your empire. And so much more. We have the tech, the strategy, the protection, and the protocol. It's all waiting for you behind one door. Go to anentrepreneursmind.com/blueprint. Stop playing with the pieces of the puzzle. Come get the whole picture. Initiate the protocol. I'll see you on the inside. Stay focused, and as always, straight ahead.